Hi, my name is Elizabeth Braw, Senior Reporter at Metro International Newspapers. I'm here in sunny Mountain View to speak with Susan Wojcicki, Senior Vice President of Advertising and Commerce at Google. Now, Susan has a Polish last name, and the truth of the matter is nobody knows how to pronounce it. I'm here in sunny Mountain View to speak with Susan Wojcicki. Wojcicki.
I say Wojcicki. It's probably said a little bit different if you're Polish, but I say Wojcicki.
So Wojcicki, here it is.
Yes, Wojcicki. And I respond to variants of that too.
Now we're talking big bucks here. Susan's team brings in most of the revenue generated by Google. Adweek has just named her the most powerful person in the world of advertising.
Where is this industry going to go?
Now, Susan, you are the woman who brings in the big bucks to Google. How much money are we talking about?
Tens of billions of dollars. A lot of money.
Wow. And how much do you think you can grow? I mean, are we talking about double that in 10 years, or are we talking about 1% a year?
I think we're going to keep growing pretty quickly. And that's because users will continue to use digital services, and so hopefully, if we all do our job well, we'll continue to grow. I think it is important to remember that technology changes so quickly, and that's really why it's important for us to always be paying attention to what's happening, because it's like navigating a really fast stream. Something could change, and so I mean, hopefully, we'll all continue to do our job really well, and Google will continue to grow.
Yeah. Now, 3.5 years ago, your team introduced something called interest-based advertising, which your system looks at what I browse on the internet and builds a profile, and then you serve me ads based on what you know about me. So, what do you know about me? What does Google know about me, and how does it benefit Google?
We always try to serve ads that are really useful and relevant. And we know that advertising is what makes the internet free, and it's how publishers generate revenue. And so actually, whatever we know, we expose. So our goal is to be really transparent with our users. So if you go to the Ads Preference Manager, you can actually see what Google knows. So I went right beforehand to go and see what does it actually say about me. And so it said, I was female, and it listed some of my interests, like advertising, which isn't a surprise, technology, computers, schools, very high-level categories. But if an advertiser knows I'm interested in technology or advertising, then the kind of advertising that I can get can be more relevant and useful to me. We also enable users to opt out of it. So our goal is to give users control and also to be transparent about everything that we do.
But some people would say Google knows way too much about me, and it's an invasion of privacy. But what would you respond to that?
Well, I think we always try to give control to our users, so we have the ability for them to opt out of any part that they don't want to participate in. We also try to be transparent so that they can actually see, and they always have the option to use a different service if they want as well. Now, there also are services, for example, like Google just came out with Google Now, and Google Now is a service that acts like your personal assistant in a lot of ways, where it can tell you information. For example, it will look at my calendar, it will know information from my calendar and other things that I'm doing on Google, and then it will make recommendations to me, like you need to leave right now because you have this appointment and there's a lot of traffic, and if you get there, if you don't leave now, you'll be late. And so things like that are really useful to me, and so users choosing to participate because they're getting a useful service out of it.
We talked earlier about how much Google knows about me or you, and I know you're a mother of 4, is that right?
Yes.
And does that frighten you that there would be a corporation in the future that knows a whole lot about your kids?
Yeah. Well, my kids use a lot of, are online a lot. They use a lot of Google products. And I think, the important thing is that the users always have choice. They always have the ability to remove anything. They have the ability to delete any account. But a lot of times I find that my kids are using all these services because they're really useful to them. And so as long as they have the controls and the ability to delete any information, they have the transparency to understand what's happening, then no, I don't worry. But I think is really, I think it's really important as a parent that we actually always understand what our kids are doing online, so we can watch them and understand that.
And obviously you're a well-informed mother, but lots of parents
I try to be.
Lots of parents out there are not that well-informed, and isn't it frightening that our kids, I mean I have kids too, and I worry, who has the responsibility here? Is it the parents who have to inform themselves, or is it somebody else? Should the government step in to sort of limit the information about kids that's out there?
I mean, I think parents always do the best they can. I mean, both of us as parents are always trying to do what we can to protect our kids and have discussions with our kids about how they should just be using the internet in general. But I think, and it's hard for me to comment about all companies because there's so many of them. And so as a parent, I do definitely, have discussions with my kids about how they're interacting with websites on the internet. I do feel like as an executive of Google, and I know my kids use Google products, I feel like they have the rights and the controls there to be able to remove information, to delete their account, should they choose to do that.
Now, speaking of families, you have an interesting family background yourself.
Yes. Well, so we grew up on the Stanford campus. My dad is a professor at Stanford, and so we were surrounded by people who were really passionate about what they did and had dedicated their lives to specific fields. And so I think that gave us an influence about trying to pick something that's important that we can really dedicate ourselves to. I'd say that was the gift from my dad. I think the gift I probably got from my mom was always willing to be a little bit of a rebel rouser. She was always willing to complain about things, or she was willing to take the less traditional path. And so I think in a lot of ways it gave us, in some ways it set us free to do things that maybe aren't as traditional. And so I think that was the gift I got from my mom.
Was your father a political refugee, or when did he come here?
Yeah, my father was a political refugee. So my grandfather was in the government in Poland before the communists came in. And so when the communists came in, then they became...
Persona non grata.
Exactly, like enemies of the state, or I'm not sure exactly what the exact classification is. And so my father escaped actually on a coal boat to Sweden. I know you're from Sweden.
Oh, really? What's the story?
So my father went to Sweden, and then they actually had a special bill in the United States that was passed in order for him, his brother, and his mother to come into the United States. So there's actually like an official U.S. Congress bill passed for him. There's a Wojcicki bill for him.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.